Manchester United 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1. And what can I say? It was a dead game, I'll be honest. A game of very few chances, but we will get into the lineup and some of the stats from the game, like we usually do. So in terms of my lineup, it was pretty. There were a couple of changes from my lineup. Some changes I didn't actually expect. So from my lineup, I had Bayinde, Mazraoui, Lindelof, Shaw, Dalot, Bruno, Ugarte, Amas, Mount, Mainu, and Chido Obi Martin actually starting. But Ruben Amorim decided to field Onana in net, Mazraoui, Lindelof, and Fredrickson making his Premier League and Manchester United debut. Dogu playing our right wing back, Ugarte and Eriksen in the double pivot, with Amas at left wing back, then Garnacho, Mainu in the inside 10 positions with Højlund up front. So my changes from my line was that Onana, Fredrickson, Dogu, Eriksen, Garnacho and Højlund all started ahead of Bayinde, Shaw, Dalot, Bruno, Mount and Chido Obi Martin. So in terms of the first half, I think both teams were kind of feeling each other out. They weren't committing too many players forward. I think both sides were kind of looking to set up in a mid-block and basically kind of nullify the opposition. So not really any chances of note in the first half too much. Both sides were playing a little bit safe, a little bit precautious, a little bit, safe, like I said. So in terms of the only chance that I can remember from the first half was in the 34th minute. Eriksen has a free kick, fires from range on target, and Bentley has to push the dipping ball over the crossbar for a corner, and that was Manchester United's first shot on target in the first half. So in terms of for half-time summary, if you have a look, both sides lacked industry in front, lack of industry from both in the game, Man United and Wolves. In the first half, United's chances bought them an XG of 0.09, while Wolves have fared even worse with an XG of 0.02, and their only shot in the first half was sent into the stands by Semedo. And I think the visitors need to find Cunha and Strand Larsen a little bit more, while the same can be said for Højlund for the hosts. And the Dane had managed just 8 touches in the first half. That was Rasmus Højlund. However, in the second half kicks off and Højlund beats his marker. This is in the 53rd minute. He's basically running through on goal and he can square it to the other side, but I think Totti, the defender, does excellently to slide in and take the ball away from him. Manchester United do make some substitutions. Mainu, Ugarte and Dogu do go off for Mount, Bruno and Dalot, and then let's have a look at the starting lineup there. So that's the starting lineup that Ruben Amorim did field in the second half. Like I said, Mainu, Ugarte and Dogu do go off for Mount, Bruno and Dalot, and then you have a double pivot of Eriksen and Bruno. And I thought that we could have found the opening in the second half due to them attacking changes, playing two attacking midfielders in the double pivot in Eriksen and Bruno, but unfortunately he wasn't able to do so. Højlund does get a chance in the 63rd minute. Fernandes finds Eriksen inside the left of the box. He lays it off for Garnacho towards the byline. He pulls out a great low cross just ahead of Højlund, but the striker can't slide it home from the goal line. And then Man United do make another substitution. Højlund does go off for Chido Obi Martin, and I think Højlund has got a really bad goal scoring record in the Premier League. I think there's 1 goal in 18 Premier League appearances, if I'm not mistaken. You know what, he's having real trouble scoring in front of goal, but I think that the United players need to be looking out for him a little bit more, but he's just not going for him at the moment. Bruno does get a chance in the 73rd minute. United put together a really nice move that sees Fernandes, Mount and Chido Obi Martin combine to feed Garnacho on the left of the box. The winger cuts it back for Fernandes, and he can't get the connection right, as his effort squirms well wide off the left post. And then Wolves unfortunately get a goal through a free kick after clutching Cunha's arm. This is in the 76th minute and slinging him to the ground on the edge of the box. Eriksen goes into the book, and Wolverhampton Wanderers have a really good great shooting opportunity by the free kick. Sarabia steps up and he makes it 1-0 to Wolves as his free kick soars into the top right corner. Onana is be all ends up, and as the Spaniard curls home his 3rd goal in the Premier League this season. Onana is at full stretch here and he can't save it, unfortunately. Man United do make a final substitution. Lindelof does go off for Euro, and Mount has 2 chances at the end of the game. Amas and Fernandes link up in the Wolves box to find Garnacho at the left byline. He then slides the ball back for Mount, but the Englishman gets his shot, gets under his shot, sorry, and fires over, and it's a waste of an opportunity. He needs to be doing better with that. And then Mount again has another opportunity in the 86th minute. It's another big miss for United. Eriksen puts the ball on a plate for Mount with a lovely Trevella pass from the left. However, Gomez and Bentley lurking, the former Chelsea man can only fire his close range stretching volley way back the way it came. So that was really unfortunate for Mount. He had two decent chances to actually equalise for Manchester United, but unfortunately it wasn't to be. And in terms of chances, that was about it really. I don't really remember too much happening in the game. They're the only notes that I've got from the game anyway. And so what we'll do now is we will get into some player ratings, and then we'll have a little chat about the other results in the Premier League as well. So let's have a look at the player ratings. Onana's got a 6.0 here. Nothing that much he can be done with regards to the goal he conceded. He made one save, one goal conceded. Nothing can be done about the free kick. He was at full stretch there. No keeper in the world is saving that. So in terms of his pass accuracy, he was decent as well. 23 out of 29, 4 out of 9, 44%. He didn't really put a foot wrong, and he was kept fairly quiet, I'll be honest with you. In terms of recoveries, 4, and touches 34 as well, throws 3. Not much can be said about Onana. And then Mazraoui, he's got a 7.6 here. He lasted 90 minutes and he completed the most passes off the match with 69 out of 74. In terms of defense, tackles 1, 4 out of 5, which is decent as well. Clearances 2, defensive actions 9, recoveries 6. Duels he's won 10 out of 14, which is really, really good for Mazraoui. He had a decent game. Lindelof, he's got a 6.5. He also played the most accurate passes of the match as well with 49 out of 50. Only one misplaced pass, but not much can be said about him. Fairly quiet game as well. It was a fairly quiet game for both sides in terms of defensively. 1 out of 3 duels won, which needs to be doing a little bit better. He did lose both of his aerial duels. Fredrickson, his Premier League debut, I thought he played really, really well. Good pass accuracy with 64 out of 69. Kept it safe most of the time, and he didn't really look out of place really. He won the most duels of the match as well with 12 out of 15 duels. So that was decent, but for making his debut at the age of 20 in the Premier League, Manchester United debut, he's done really, really well in my opinion. Dogu, who he was playing at right wing back, he played 59 minutes as well, so 80% pass accuracy, 8 out of 10 accurate passes. In terms of his tackles, he's won 6 out of 7 there, which is decent. 11 defensive actions as well. Duels won, he's won 11 out of 15, which is decent as well. And then Ugarte, I thought he was okay. Again, not much can be said. 33 out of 38 accurate passes. Duels, he's won 8 out of 12, which is decent. Eriksen, I thought he was okay as well. 63 out of 74 accurate passes. Then duels won, he's won 5 out of 9 as well. Amas, I thought he had a tidy game as well. 42 out of 47 accurate passes. Then duels won, he's won 9 out of 13 as well, which is decent. But I felt like as if our forwards were a little bit poor. We're going to speak about Garnacho now. He created the most chances of the match with 41 out of 47 accurate passes, and I thought he was a little bit poor in my opinion. He's won 6 out of 19 duels, which isn't great. He wasn't really too much of a threat going forward, but Wolves did really kind of compact the centre of the pitch and made it really difficult for Manchester United to be coming away with any goal scoring opportunities. And we'll have a look at the chances created as well, the total chances created anyway. He's created 3 chances, and that was it really. I thought he had a poor game, Garnacho. Mainu, again, the same can be said about him. He was getting into some pockets. He did have this shot in the 44th minute, which did go just wide. Possibly he could be doing a little bit better, but it was a difficult shot, outside the box. In terms of his duels, he's won 2 out of 4 as well. Højlund, I felt like as if he had a poor game. I felt like as if the criticism he received against Lyon was a little bit unjustified. Against Lyon, I felt like as if Højlund did have a good game. He was making some really decent runs in behind the defence and stretching the back line as well. And linking play really well against Lyon. But today against Newcastle, he had this one chance which he just not this one, but where he failed to make contact with a Garnacho cross, I think it was. Garnacho flashes it right across the face of goal. Højlund just needs to make contact with the ball and it's in, but he fails to make contact. Duels, he's won 2 out of 10 as well, which isn't great. He needs to be doing better with his duels. And then the substitutes, we'll speak about the substitutes as well. Dallo comes on in the 59th minute, 6.4 here, and 13 out of 16 accurate passes, 81%, 4 out of 7 duels won. And then Bruno Fernandes, he comes on. He has 8 passes into the final third. Chances created 0, unfortunately. Usually he does create chances for us when he does come on, when he's on the pitch. 39 out of 43 accurate passes. Jules, he's won 1 out of 3. And then Mount, I thought he was poor. He had two chances here. One in the 83rd minute, which I think he needs to be doing better there, in my opinion. And then that shot is just off target. And then in the 86th minute, which that shot goes just wide as well. Not just wide, quite a little bit wide. But I think he needs to be doing better, in my opinion. 14 out of 14 accurate passes. 3 out of 5 duels won. Tudor Obi Martin, he comes on as well. He doesn't really have too much of an influence. He's only 17, so you need to cut in some slack. Hopefully he may be starting some games in the Premier League. I'm not sure. Again, he wasn't really involved in any duels either. And then Lenny Yoro comes on, and he's involved in 3 duels, wins all of his duels, which is decent. And he's got a 6.5 here in FootMob. But in terms of overall, it wasn't really vintage. Obviously it wasn't a vintage Manchester United performance, but we didn't really give Wolves any chances too much, in my opinion. We'll have a look at the stats as well in a minute and see in terms of big chances created, but I don't really remember each side having many chances created. So in terms of that, it is a decent performance defensively, because we only conceding 1 goal is obviously conceding isn't great, but it was from a free kick. But otherwise, Cunha and Strad Larsen didn't really have too much of a threat, and I think we contained them pretty well. It was pretty much an even game, and it could have gone either way. Probably the most the result that would have had both teams. The most fair result for this game probably would have been a draw, in my opinion. But Wolves do go away with all 3 points, unfortunately. So let's have a look at the stats as well. We'll have a look at the stats in terms of the first half. You can see there basically a total of 4 shots, 3 for United, 1 for Wolves, 1 shot on target for Manchester United, and none for Wolves. No big chances created for either side. Manchester United dominating with the pass accuracy as well, and accurate passes with 259. But again, everything was in front of Wolves. We really didn't look to play them line-breaking passes and look to break Wolves down, even though we did dominate possession, but most of the possession that we held was in front of Wolves, and it wasn't really threatening. And then in the second half, I think we had more shots, with 9 shots, only 1 on target, 1 big chance, and 1 big chance missed as well. In terms of Wolves, they had 3 shots, 2 on target, and the 2 shots they did have on target, they scored from that one from the free kick. But apart from that, Wolves didn't threaten either. So like I said before, the most kind of fair result for this game would have been a draw. But where does that leave Man United in the league table? That does leave us still in 14th position, unfortunately. Not looking good in terms of Premier League. We are technically, mathematically secured for the Premier League next season, because Ipswich did lose to Arsenal 4-0. So the maximum number of points that Ipswich can achieve at the end of the season in their remaining 5 games is 15 points. That would lead them to 36 points. And now none of the bottom 3 are able to catch Manchester United. So we have secured Premier League safety for next season. And you can see here it's updated on Wikipedia as well. We are here for next season's Premier League. That is all but secure, which is great for us, of course. But like I said, it's not been a great season for us, even though we have secured Premier League safety due to that result, the Arsenal-Ipswich result. So yeah, I think who else has been secured? Tottenham are secured as well, and Wolves as well. They are secured for the Premier League next season. So the only team that isn't secured is West Ham as well. But that's pretty much it. In terms of the bottom 3, West Ham only need probably like I think West Ham probably need one more point to secure Premier League safety, and that's it. And then Ipswich, Leicester, and Southampton are all going down. But apart from that, that was it. You know, it was a poor game, poor quality in the first half for both sides going forward. But like I said, you know, all eyes are on the Europa League right now, and not much can be said about that. That's about it from me. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. When in the next game, Manchester United do play Bournemouth, and I'll see you in the next one.